Manager of the Year 2019, Keith Connolly. How's it going?
It's great. Ready for a big week. Ready for Adam Kownacki to do his thing on Saturday.
Great. So tell us about this fight week, this card. Adam Kownacki, he's headlining once again in Brooklyn. He's definitely looking to put on a statement performance to possibly match him up into bigger fights. Now, is that fight with Andy Ruiz in August, is that a potential fight that is coming upon for Adam? Because that's the rumors out there.
Any heavyweight's potential opponent for Adam. He's got to do his thing on Saturday. It's going to be a huge crowd. Ticket sales have been going through the roof. And we'll see how Adam looks Saturday. And then after he wins, which I fully expect him to, we'll talk about what's in the future. But any heavyweight that's under the PBC umbrella is in the mix.
Right, so any heavyweight in the PBC umbrella. Now, this is a WBA eliminator. Mm-hmm. Now, all the belts, as you know, at the moment are in the UK and England. Can you see Adam possibly going overseas to UK to challenge either Fury or Joshua for one of the titles? Because it seems like all the belts are right now across the pond.
Yeah, I mean, anything's a possibility. Adam's not scared of any of those guys. We were ready to fight Wilder. Obviously, he lost. He has his chance in July. So if somehow he can turn things around and pull off the upset, we'll be in line to fight Wilder. If he loses again, you know, Al and I are always open to making a deal with him to fight Joshua or Fury. But a lot has to happen before we figure all that out. Adam has to win Saturday, and then we have to see what happens in July. And Adam will be fighting one more time in 2019.
2020.
Sorry, 2020.
Yes. All right, let's move right along. You have so many fighters on your stable. Next week at the Garden, you have Mr. Edgar Berlanga, who's an up-and-coming star prospect. He's fighting currently at 168. What can we expect out of him? I know he's somebody who's on the radar, who's going to be making noise very soon.
Expect another knockout. He's fighting an opponent that's gone rounds with big names. We'll be announcing that opponent next week. I'm expecting Edgar to take care of him pretty quickly. Hopefully he gets more than one round just for his development, and then we'll go from there. But Edgar Berlanga has all the ingredients that if he makes it far in the sport to be a superstar. He's got looks, he's got charisma, and he's got knockout power. As far as a prospect, you couldn't ask for anything better.
What's next for Danny Jacobs?
I'll be sitting down with Eddie Hearn and DAZN in the next week and a half to 2 weeks about that. Expect him to come back in late May or early June, and we'll be going over a few opponents for Danny over the next couple of weeks.
Okay. And another name who just recently fought at the Garden on December was Richard Commey. Mm-hmm. How soon is he going back into the ring? When can we expect Richard Commey again?
He'll have a comeback fight probably sometime in June. An opponent to get his legs back underneath him, get back in the W column. And obviously Lomachenko and Teofimo Lopez are fighting each other. There's been a lot of talk of after that fight, Lomachenko going back down in weight, maybe Teofimo going up. So I think some of the belts could be basically, you know, things will be broken up and there'll be belts available. So I think Richard Commey will be back in the mix after one or two comeback victories.
And you also made news this past week. You signed recently hot sensation top prospect Mark Castro out of Fresno, California, who's a young amateur and who definitely is making a big splash in the scene. Tell us a little about Mark Castro and what you expect out of him.
Well, as far as amateurs go in the American system, he was the most highly decorated amateur for the last couple of years. He won the gold medal in the Youth World Championships twice, only the second American to ever do that. You know, he won like 16 or 17 national tournaments, so the kid's a complete stud. He has to look. He's got everything. He's Mexican-American, so he'll be somebody to watch out for over the coming years.
All right, just one more thing we want to touch on. We recently saw the outcome of Fury versus Wilder. Wilder just recently exercised his rematch clause. Would you recommend Wilder going right into Fury as early as July, or would you have him do a step aside where he'll take some step aside money and possibly face the winner of Joshua and Fury later during the year?
I don't like to give opinions on how to manage other fighters that I'm not involved in. Shelley Finkel's an all-time great manager. Al Heyman's probably the greatest manager of all time. So those guys probably have a good feel and a good temperature on how Wilder's feeling. So I'll leave that to them. Again, I would never overstep my bounds and talk about how I would manage somebody that I'm not involved in.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Keith Connolly. signing off, and good luck on Saturday night. Best of luck with Adam Kownacki, home
Thank
locally
you.
in Brooklyn.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Got it.